Okay, welcome back to another episode of Catch and Tie. The fly we're tying today is something I'm going to call a sparkly midge. It's a small fly. This is on a size 14, but I've been tying them down as far as a 20. And this is really the biggest one I've tied as a 14. So we can get around camera here. The fish that it caught that day was a golden shiner. And you're probably asking, why is he showing me a golden shiner? Something they use for bass bait. But this is the first golden shiner that I've caught out of Neshannock Creek on a fly, and pretty much anywhere on a fly. I'm sure I have in the past, I just can't recall. Never got one on film. And it's a pretty nice size golden shiner. So we're going to show you the fly that it took. Something I designed. Not too complicated, but it actually looks pretty good when it's all finished up. Okay, first I'll show you the fish, and then I'll show you the fly. Here we go. What a good way to start the day. What we got here, little shiner? Okay, here's all the materials we're going to use today for this fly. Most importantly, the body is a animal print tape. It's a plastic tape. It's real durable. It's like rubberized. What I do is I tape it down to this cutting pad and use a rotary cutter to slice it down to a thin section. And here you can see I got a bunch of them that I've done already. I use a straight edge. It's not a straight edge. It's nice and firm. I was using a wooden ruler and I kept on slicing little pieces off the ruler every time I did it because this is extremely sharp. And you can see that this tape comes in several different colors. The reason I use this tape is I got it at a phenomenal deal at a craft store going out of business where I bought a lot of stuff. And it, when it was all said and done, each of these rolls, which is 36 inches, was basically a penny a piece. And I got a bunch. So I'll be using this as I design flies in the future. Alright, we have a little bit of this crystal flash in gold. We're using a tungsten bead, black nickel, 7/32, and a size 14 hopper terrestrial hook. It's 2 extra long, it's a saber. Thread we're using is a 100 denier. The brand is Royal Sissy. I think that's how they pronounce it, S-I-S-S-I or something of that name. Got it off a local fly shop here that had them for sale. It's an internet fly shop, but he's local to me. And $1.25 for 250 yards. I figured I'd give it a try, and I like it. And you'll see how it spins. It's real fine thread, like silk, and it lays real flat. Something I like when I'm tying. And again is the insulina fibers, already cut up. And the lead wire is .010, small lead wire for this project here. Okay, that should be all the materials that we're going to use today. And I don't think I forgot anything. Alright, let's get to tying. Okay, welcome back. We got the hook, a size 14 saber. It's a 2x long hopper terrestrial hook. Sprott bend. The tungsten bead is a 7/64 from the Flash Shack. They got pretty good deals on their beads. May be able to find them cheaper, I don't know, but these beads are pretty good. I haven't found one that was bad, and they're all real consistent on how they cut them. The thread we're going to start off with is a thread that I got from a local fly shop. He's actually an online fly shop. The fly shop is called Risen Fly Fishing. He is real good with customer service and has us good deals on his materials. Also has a brand of fishing rods, fly rods and reels. And his clearance bin is where I got this from. And the clearance on this thread, it's a real flat, thin thread. As you can see, it just really is like a silk thread. 250 yards, and I got it for $1.25. And I ordered a pretty good size order that day, and I'm very happy with it. You can read my review on his website about the thread. The 75 denier is the thread that I reviewed. This is the same thread, but it's 100 denier. First, we're going to add some lead wrap. 6 turns, 5 turns, whatever. You just want it on there to secure that bead in the center of the hook there. If you don't, what happens is when you tie it all off, the bead will, let's see, where's my bodkin at? The bead will flop down or up, you know, and it's just not how I like it. I'm trying to get it as uniform as I can. No reason other than so it looks a little more pretty. Okay, from here we're going to go ahead and put a little super glue down. Just a little dab. Don't want too much on there because you'll get super glue everywhere. Go ahead and place that lead wrap into the center of the bead. Now this bead is nice and center. Start by putting your thread on. A couple wraps behind the lead in order to secure it in there. Wrap it down. Go ahead and trim it off so you don't have a tag in hanging out the back there. And wrap it down to about the top of the bend there and wrap it back up. A couple turns. Go ahead and take your crystal flash and I like to make one longer than the other so I don't waste a lot of material. And somebody's calling me. Okay, took a little pause there. The phone rang. So, okay, here we're doing. We tied the tail in. Left one longer than the other. The reason I did that is when you trim it off, you don't waste too much of the material. You can use it again. Go ahead and wrap it down. And wrap it back up to there. Go ahead and trim up your tail to less than ½ inch. You got a nice looking tail there. You can separate them and move them any way you want. This material is pretty forgiving. Alright, we're going to go ahead and add some copper wire. This is a not really necessary. You can actually forget the copper wire and it'll look more like a cased caddis. and it will, you can design it that way. So I'll go ahead and put your copper wire on, secure it, bring it all the way back to the start of the tail, and back up. Okay, what you want to do is you take your animal print tape and find the next section of the color you want, and it has several different colors. You can go dark, you can go a lighter color to it. Go ahead, find a section you like. And I'm going to go a little darker on this one here. And when you start with your wraps, you want the non-printed side up. The reason being is when you start wrapping the tape around the hook, it naturally wants to go printed side up. Okay, go ahead, put your thread to the front there, bring your bobbin holder around, go ahead, park your thread on top of that, and go ahead and start spiral wrapping back to the front. Try to do some touching turns, that way it looks really good. No big gaps. If there is a gap, it really wouldn't matter that much because you're going to go ahead and put some UV finish on it. But you want it to look good if you can. Okay, that looks pretty good. Take your bobbin holder out of the way and go ahead and secure it. A couple wraps over it, a couple wraps in front of it, back over it, cinch it down. This is where your extra fine pointed needle scissors come in handy. Good, cut it down real close. Good. Wrap that down a little bit, and there you go. Go ahead, take your copper wire. You can counter wrap if you want. You can make them tight spirals or thick spirals. Really, it's your fly. And we'll do about enough there. Go ahead, capture that. Make sure you do a good job of wrapping that down. You're going to go ahead and helicopter that off. Alright, looks good. Now we want to do a little UV finish on the body. The reason I'm doing that primarily is to shine it up a little bit. Take your bodkin and spread it evenly around the body of the fly here. It'll add a little durability to it. Here you go, nice and shiny. Good, zap it. Add too much of the UV on her, you'll get too much of a bulk. What you want to keep this fly pretty thin if you can. Okay, from here we're going to add a bit of the Angelina fibers. Got them in a pack here. Got the corner cut out of the pack. Seen that little trick on a video from Fly Fish Food. The guy tying a fly was Cheech, showing how to basically put your fibers in a pack. When you bring them out, they're uniform, but with I found to add to that little trick is I have this skewer that I got from probably a club sandwich I ordered out somewhere, holding it together. It's a bamboo skewer. Works great around the fly tying desk for things like this. Go ahead and push down to the corner. Pull out as much as you want. Don't get too crazy with this because you don't want too much on there. And now they all come out in one direction, which is pretty nice. Go ahead, give it a pinch, lay it on top of your fly, give it 2 wraps, and check the position. Looks pretty good. Go ahead, stroke the front part back, wrap it down, rub it down just a little more on the front. There you go. Now you got a nice sparkly midge, but I want these to look a little better up front here. So I'm going to go ahead and trim them up to about there. And that looks pretty good. Okay, from here go ahead, give it a whip finish. Don't need a lot of whips, just a couple whips. You're going to add a little UV to it. Got that copper wire sticking up there. You can actually, if you want, you can whip over top of that, and that'll hide that. Yeah, it's still showing a little bit. It's alright with me, if it's alright with you. Go ahead and cut the thread off. I'm going to go ahead and add a little UV to it. Take your bodkin just to make sure it's all even around there. And you're it. And there you go. Sparkly midge can also be a cased caddis. It actually looks pretty good, that tape. You can leave that part off. Leave the tail off, maybe put a little UV ice dub on there around the front of it, maybe a little black ice dub, and that'll be a cased caddis. So this tape works for a lot of things. I've actually tied this down to a size 20 on the scud hook. Similar pattern, looks different, works well. So if you like this fly, give it a like, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of these videos, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you don't like them, Let me know in the comments what you don't like about this fly. If you do like it, let me know too. I like the design flies. There's a lot of them out there. I mean, there's thousands upon thousands of flies out there on the internet. But I like to try to make something unique, something I haven't seen before. And I think this guy qualifies. And I hope you think so too. Alright, have a good day. Appreciate you tuning in today. See ya.